Don't you just love getting flowers, but don't you just hate when you get a beautiful floral arrangement and you can't keep it looking as good as the professionals? Well, here with some expert tips on how to do that is Karin Crawford from God's Garden Treasures. You guys give us our flowers once a week that make the set look so beautiful. They're gorgeous.
Thank you.
And now, how do you make flowers last longer? Because I always hear, use sugar, use ginger ale.
Yes.
Like, cut them under the water. What do you do?
There are so many things. The first thing is really to select your source for flowers, because some flowers are transported from the grower to the consumer in an uncooled environment. So you want to make sure that your source is keeping them cold continuously. And then in terms of once you get them home, my favorite tip is if you look at the water and you don't want to drink it, neither do the flowers. So if it's got little grodies or it's kind of not clear, yeah, just dump it out, pick up one of the flower packets, replace the water.
Now, what's in the packet? Because I see that. I know I'm not supposed to eat it, but I know I'm supposed to put it in the sugar. They want to eat it.
Yes, it actually is scientifically balanced, antibacterial, and food for the flowers.
Oh.
And the flowers will last from 50 to 70% longer when you use flower food. So always ask for a couple packets and grab a couple extra when you're at your florist and say, you know, I'd like to have them last longer.
What else can you do to enjoy your flowers? Because there's lots of, I mean, you could just sit there and look at it, but there's obviously things you could do to make them last longer or look prettier.
Yes, a couple different things that you can do. One is if you get your flowers, and sometimes the florist will take a pretty wrap and wrap around the stems.
I've noticed that
a
lot lately.
Yeah, it is very popular. The challenge is that bacteria can grow on the foliage that's in. So you might, after a few days, take that out, just make sure it's clear. If it's a little slimy, use some antibacterial soap.
Oh.
And you can wash that bacteria off and put it back on. It won't hurt the flowers. Now the other thing is, this is a fun little accent piece that we sometimes put on here. I'm just going to take that off so I can repurpose these flowers.
I love it, repurposing your flowers.
Exactly. When you get a nice tall arrangement like this, one of the things you can do is the roses, they come nice and tall. As they open up, their stems can get a little weaker and they aren't drawing water up as well. So the one thing you can do is just come in, give them a fresh cut at an angle, put them back in the original vase.
Do they have to be underwater when you do that? Because you don't know how many times I fought with flowers.
You know, it is such a huge debate. It's kind of like, do you... yeah, you can do it either way. I had something in my head, but it went away.
Hey, been there, done that.
The other thing you can do is take a lower vase or even the same size vase and just cut your stems shorter and then pull your flowers down so that they're more of kind of your contemporary massed flower arrangement.
Now that I've done, like picking some of the bad stuff off and just, you know, reworking it.
And then you can pop it, that's not quite short enough to go in that low vase there. And then what you can do is pop it in, and what happens is that this one's still a little too long, and you'll want to be a little more careful than I was in taking the foliage off that's below the water line because the bacteria will attract to that. But what you can do is just drop these down in, and the vase will actually support the heads, especially of the roses, and help them last longer. And then the other thing you can do is get a nice pretty bowl, and maybe 3 or 4 days later, just come and snip it off and float it in the bowl.
Yeah, you just whittle it down. Well, thank you so much. What great tips. And now we know that this is food and antibacterial. It's scientifically approved. And if you would like more information, to go to our website at azfamily.com/yourlife or call our hotline, Karin. Beautiful, beautiful. And I realize, Lisa, maybe I shouldn't use my scissors, and maybe I